Hello and welcome to Developers Den by Newton School. I am 𝐏𝐚𝐲 𝐀𝐟𝐭𝐞𝐫 I'm a front-end developer, and in today's video we are going to finish our Dunzo clone project. I hope that you were coding along with me in the previous two videos, and so far you have almost ready Dunzo clone, in which you have the header, in which you have the main full section, and in today's video we will clone the footer section and the app layout. So let's get started with the coding part. So if you haven't liked the video, do like it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do subscribe it. And if you have any doubt, do comment. I'll help you out for sure. Also, a big thanks to Newton School for helping me making this video. Let's get started with the coding part.
So let's get started with the topic section. By far you have the this main fold section, the header section. We are just a little away from cloning the entire Dunzo application, a project that you can add to your resume as well. So for the topic section, we will go to the files, and we'll close this inside our topics. So here what we will do is we will create, first of all, remove this and close this as well. So for this I'll give it a class name of max width, because I want it to align with everything. If you're watching this video, the last video directly, make sure that you have watched the previous videos so that you can understand what these class names are and how everything is working. So here inside this, the top picks is working something like this. We have a title, section title, and some cards here. So for this I will create a div. Inside this div I will have two more things. One is the title that we have, obviously, which is top picks for you. So this is the title that we have, so I'll give it a class name of top picks title only. So I'll give it a class name of top picks title. Perfect. And also this container, I'll give this a class name of top picks. So what I generally do is I give the first class name same as the file name, so that I understand that what this class is all about. Now next to this div, we will have to create a container where we can create all these cards and all. But before this, if you are seeing here, you can see that we have this particular broken line next to this title. So for that particular broken line, what we can do is I can create a div. I'll go to Dunzo's website, I'll create an inspect, and I'll copy this particular SVG. So where is this SVG? Here. So I'll copy this element, and I'll paste it here and save it. Now if you'll go to our own website, you can see we have copied the broken line as well. So now what generally happens, that if your designer is giving you some design, they'll give you this SVG files as well, so it won't be difficult for you to use this method. So therefore I'm teaching you how to do this. Now next to this SVG, next to this title, SVG and everything, we have the main card section. So if you have watched the previous video, you must be aware that how we created this main fold section, this item section and everything. So it is very much similar to that only. So I'll give it a class name of top picks cards, and also a property of flex, because I want everything inside this to be a flex. But before creating this, you must be aware that we created a data file as well in the previous video. The data file which acts as an API response for us, since we don't have access to the backend APIs of Dunzo. So what we will do, we will create again an array. So I will go to my data file. Now here I will say export const top picks. So I'll write here export const top picks, export const top underscore picks. Now imagine this array we are getting from the backend. So what kind of response will be there? Obviously there will be an ID, a unique identifier, and a banner. Now banner will just be the image address for each of this image. So I'll just paste it, I'll save it, I'll copy this 3-4 times, 1 2 3 4, and I'll change the ID first of all, 1 2 3 and 4, and then I'll copy all the images, copy image address, replace this particular image to this, replace this particular image here as well, and done. And finally replace this image as well. So if I'll replace this and save this, perfect. Now this particular array will act as a backend API response for us, so that we can map through this array in our code base. So inside the top picks file, what we will do is here we will import that particular object array by like this top picks, and then we'll map through it. So if you don't know map, again I mentioned in the previous video, read more about it on MDN docs or in Web3 schools, because map is a great prototype function to use in your code base. It reduces a lot of work and it is very efficient as well. So inside my map picks, what I'll do is I'll just return an image directly. Now for this image, obviously we will need a source, So whatever name you are giving to this thing. So what is this? This map function will iterate through this array, and it will pick or it will just take one of the element and then returns whatever thing you are returning from here. And I'm calling this as pix. So I'll say pix.banner, pix.banner. Perfect. Now I'll give this as class name as well. I'll give it a class name of topics card. Topics card. Notice this is cards and this is just card. This represents just a single card and this represents the div containing all the cards. Also, this is giving me a warning because I haven't used the alt here. Now alt is just basically something that your browser displays in case your image is failing to load. Now I'll say that command Z, pix.banner only. Save it. So perfect. Now this is working. Now if you go to our website, you can see we have all the 4 images, just these are not styled right now. So to style it, I'll go to my topics.css file. So here is my topics.css file. Inside the topics.css file, the first class that we need, the div class, is topics itself, which is the container for the entire thing. So I'll give it a padding. So I'll give it a padding of 48 pixel from top and bottom and 0 pixel from left and right. So you can see there is some gap between gap around this. This looks perfect. Now to style the title, I'll say topics title. For this title, I will need a font size of 28 pixel. I will need a font weight of 600. 600 is just bold. Now you can see topics title. I may have made some mistake here in giving the class name. Where is it? It is topics title. Okay, as you can see, the spelling mistake is there. This is it. Now you can see topics for you is the style is applied to it. I'll close this. Now next to the font weight, I'll say that give some margin to the broken line next to it. So I'll say margin bottom to be of 8 pixel. Perfect. Now you can see there is some margin here. Now I'll style the container which contain all these topics cards, the cards, plural one. So I'll say topics cards. For this topics card, I'll say padding top, which means some space between the broken line and the cards to be of 32 pixel. Now if you will see, there is appropriate space, and also I want to be it of justify content space between. So one more thing, this justify content will only work if your div already has a property called display as flex. And where did we write it? If you'll go there, you can see we already write this property flex. And where is this flex defined? It is defined in common classes file that we had. So you should watch my entire series right from the first video to understand how I created this. So you'll learn a lot, I promise you that, if you'll follow me in all of these videos. So since this topics card is done, finally we will style each card individually. So I'll say topics card, just the singular card. For this I want it to be rounded, so I'll say border radius of 5 pixel. And now I just have to style the height and width. For height and width, I copied from Dunzo only, so that I can clone it exactly like that. So for the width, it will be 244 pixel. Now if I save it, you can see this is looking exactly like Dunzo's website. Perfect. So this is how we wanted it to be. So next thing that I want to do is, I want to create this download nudge, the app download nudge. This is called the nudge because here you get the buttons to download and everything. So I'll create this component right now. So if I go to app download section in the index.js file, I'll have to write here only. So first of all, I'll close this and I'll give this a class name of app download. So as I mentioned in the previous component as well, that I give it the same class name as the file name. So app download, and next to app download, I want it to be flex and absolute center. So absolute center I have already defined in my common classes. This will center everything inside my div. So I'll remove this since we don't need this. We will need an image first of all, the screenshot that you see here. So I'll copy the image address. For this image, we will need the source. The source is going to be this. If I'll save this and if I do this, where is it? If I'll do this here, for the alt tag, alt is going to be a text which is be displayed once your image is failing to load. So I'll say app download, and next to alt I wanted to give it a height of 237. Again, this is same height as the Dunzo is using. You can verify it from there, or you can experiment on your own by giving various height and widths. So this is our website where the height and width is looking perfect. Now it is exactly at the center. We need to give it some space and everything, which we will give right now. Now next to this image, we have some buttons. So first of all, I'll create a div and I'll give it a class name of let's say flex, because I want everything to be flex. Now if you'll see, this entire right part is in a flex and it is in a column direction. So what I'll say column. Again, column is a common class that we created initially in the beginning of our code. So I'll say download buttons. Now this is the class name that I'm giving it to style it better. Now first of all, here we have two things. One is this particular text and another is these buttons. So first I'll create this div and I'll paste this text here. Inside this div, if I paste this and save this, now before this download text, if I'll go to my own text here, you can see it's all displayed in one line. So I want a break here. Now this break tag will work for you. Just do it like this. So this will give a line break here. Perfect. So next to this div, but before this, let's give it a class name so that I can style it in the style file. I'll say download text. Download text. Perfect. Now next to this, I need download buttons. So I'll create a div. Inside this div, I'll create an image tag. Inside this image, I'll give the source. Now what is the source? The source is this particular image. So this is our source and I'll do it like this and I'll copy this. But before this, let's give it some alt. I'll say download icon, save it. I'll copy this again. I'll paste this and here I'll copy this image address and I'll replace this particular source. Perfect. Now if I'll go to my own website, you can see this is here. I just have to give some space. I'll have to change the font and everything, and our download app section is also ready. So I'll go to the CSS file that I have here, and in the CSS file, app download. So if you'll see, there is this banner color here. So I'll copy this banner color like this. I'll copy this background image. So it is not a variable for a color, it is actually an image. So I won't be keeping it inside a variable. So I'll say app download, which is our main wrapper. And for here, I'll say background image, Command Z, background image to be this. Now again, I'm not keeping it in a variable because we are using it as a background image and not as the color. So you can see this is exactly the background image that we wanted. So next to this, I want a margin from top. So I'll say margin from top to be of 48 pixel. 48 pixel. Perfect. So now there is some space. Next to it, for the title text that we have, so we have download text. To the download text, we have a font size of 20 pixel, and then we have an opacity of 0.9. Again, I checked this opacity from Dunzo's own website because my color was little different. Next we have font weight, actually not size, font weight, Command Z, font weight of 600, and finally we have a margin bottom of 16 pixel, so that there is some space between the download buttons and the text. So perfect. Now if you'll see, this is looking like this. We just have to style these buttons as well. So what we can do is, I can give it a position of relative so that it is styled much better like this. And next to this, for the download buttons, what I will do is download buttons, BTNS. For the download buttons, I'll say margin left to be let's say 20 pixel, and the margin top to be 48 pixel. Perfect. So now you can see this is how it is styled. We have successfully cloned the landing page of Dunzo website. You can see this is the actual Dunzo website. Just ignore this particular part because this is just random names, and it is not UI wise very perfect, and you won't learn something new. So I'm not cloning this part. And so if I think that you learn, I would have cloned this part. So I thought you learn a lot while cloning this particular section. So I have cloned this. I hope you enjoyed whatever we created. I hope you learned a lot. I hope a lot of your queries were solved. If not, do comment it out. I'll reach out to you. I'll solve all your doubts. So, but before that, let's create the footer that we have. So for the footer, what I will do is I'll just write one line and I'll give it a class name called footer. I'll give it a class name of flex and absolute center, and here I'll write made with fire. So for fire, I'll copy it from Google, the emoji, fire emoji. Make sure that you are taking credits for whatever you are building. If you are putting this project in your resume, just change this made with fire or to anything that you want. I'll say made with fire by developers den, and I'll write Newton School as well. Thanks to Newton School again for making this video successful and perfect. Now if you'll see here, made with fire by developers den, I'll style it in a moment. So I'll go to my footer file, CSS file. I'll say footer, and inside my footer I want the font size to be of 24 pixel. I want the font weight to be of 600, and final thing, I want a margin. From top I want 32 pixel, from left right I want 0, and we are done. So this was it. This is the Dunzo clone that we created. There are total 3 videos that you should watch, and if you have any doubt, again reach out to me. I am available on LinkedIn, on Instagram, anywhere that you find me. Hope you liked it. Hope I was able to teach you something new. Stay tuned for more such videos. Stay tuned for more such clones, more such tutorials and everything. Subscribe to the channel, do subscribe it. If you haven't liked the video, do like it and do share with your friends as well, and hope you learn a lot on this channel. Till then, thank you and bye bye. See you in the next video.